Hello and welcome to another edition of Iron Sports. In today's episode, we're home. We're here at Martin Studios. We're coming to you live, and we're going to take a look at the role and the functions of the Dominica Olympic Committee. I'm joined by the President and the General Secretary of the Dominica Olympic Committee, Mr. Felix Wilson, and also Mr. Thomas Dorset. Welcome, guys. And after the break, we're going to get straight into the business. We're going to discuss the topic at hand. Stay tuned. You're watching Iron Sports. We'll be right back.
C'est la vie nous. It's our life. It's a real mass in Dominica. Savor the real spirit of festivity. Revel in the intrigue of a masquerade band. Delight in the glitz and glamour of the parades. The royalty of pageantry. The camaraderie of fetes. Come alive to the musical rhythms of Dominica's Lapo Cabaret. So is bouillon music you want? Let the bouillon captivate your mind, body and spirit. And oh, that sweet, sweet sound of the calypso beat moving you. Let's go. Join us. Give in to the captivating pool of the sights, sounds, tastes, and smells of the real mass. Oh yes, it's Mass Dominic. It's here. It's our life. It's a real Mass 2015. C'est la vie nous. Dominica's Carnival, brought to you by the government of Dominica, the Discover Dominica Authority, and Platinum Partner Line.
We mixing white dog with anything. Only white dog. White dog with anything. Only white dog can beat it. It's calling. I'm eating. It's calling. Only white dog can beat it. It's calling. I'm eating.
White oak. When it pours, you reign.
Welcome back to Iron Sports. Like I said, we're live here at the Mont Daniel Studios. In the house, we've got the President of the Dominica Olympic Committee, Mr. Felix Wilson, and also the General Secretary, Mr. Thomas Dorset. And guys, this is a special program, special Iron Sports, because we're going to be discussing the Dominica Olympic Committee, the role of the Dominica Olympic Committee as it relates to sports development in Dominica. Let's start with you, Mr. Wilson. The Dominica Olympic Committee founded in 1993.
Yeah.
You know, that's quite a while.
Yeah. No, not founded in 1993.
Oh,
it was affiliated to the International Olympic Committee in 1993. We formed the Dominica Olympic Committee, but it wasn't yet recognized since 1986, or thereabout, 86. But it took until 1993 to receive membership in the, or to be affiliated to the international body. We did that along with St. Kitts, St. Lucia, BVI, and ourselves were all brought on board in 1993. And that meant we took part in the first Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia in 1996. But you made mention, and just to give a background, because personally wondering, why is the Dominica Olympic Committee on TV, on sports, Iron Sports? Let me just say to the public that we will be having that slot every second Thursday of each month. It's sponsored by the Dominica Olympic Committee, and the whole aim of this is to educate the Dominican public. And I know you have streaming sometime, so it will go beyond the shores of Dominica to educate on Olympism. So for our first program, the Secretary General, Thomas Dorset, and myself as President, we will like to look at the role and function of the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, and a National Olympic Committee. That National Olympic Committee is Dominica Olympic Committee. So we need to give a background to what we'll be doing in educating the public on Olympism from month to month.
Okay.
So,
all right. So generally, for the people at home who are probably not too familiar with the structure of the DOC, what does it comprise?
Okay. Well, what I'll do, Gavin, I will talk from the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, what it is, and that would lead to us as the National Olympic Committee being the local representative or the national representative of the IOC. So by understanding the International Olympic Committee, you will understand better the role and function of the National Olympic Committee or the Dominica Olympic Committee. So what I'll do is give that background on the IOC, its structure and role, and Thomas Dossett, Secretary General, will speak about National Olympic Committees, but with a focus on Dominica Olympic Committee, which will not be different from any National Olympic Committee in the 204 or 5 countries in that organization.
But Felix, just as a mark of respect, I think we should just about now, just not a minute, but just a moment's silence as a mark of respect for our fallen leader, Mario Rana, the president of PASO. So just one moment, just to recognize what he has done in shaping the Olympic movement and also modeling Dominica Olympic Committee. So you could go ahead.
Okay. Well, persons may also wonder what Thomas spoke about. That is an aspect and a major aspect of our organization. He refers here to the president of the continental. There are 5 continents, and each continent has a body that represents all the Americas and the Caribbean. And the president, who has been president for over 30 years, that is His Excellency Mario Vasquez Rania. He's Mexican, but has been spearheading activities in the continent. But more importantly, he was the founder of the Association of National Olympic Committees, a major arm of the International Olympic Committee, as well as he used to head what is called Olympic Solidarity. But as we go along, we'll explain those things. And Thomas is very right. That is, although the moment of silence was just a few seconds,
really just a moment.
but people want to know. And Mario Vasquez Rania died on, when is it? On
the 8th, Sunday.
On Sunday at the age of 82. Okay. Yes. If you looked at him then when he was in form, between the ages of 70 and 82, you would have thought he is a 40-year-old man. He looked quite fit. But that is the fate of everyone. Okay. So let me just quickly begin with the education process, you may say, and talk of the International Olympic Committee in terms of what it is, its role and function, and we'll take it from there. Okay? So quickly, Gavin, the Olympic movement is what is at stake here. There is a movement. It's not just a body of persons in each territory and country, but we have to think in terms of a movement. And that movement is defined by the Olympic Charter, which is like the constitution of the International Olympic Committee and all its affiliates. But the Olympic movement is made up of 3 components. One, the International Olympic Committee, IOC. For short, we will just refer to the IOC. The National Olympic Committees, of which Dominica Olympic Committee is one of them. Some committees call themselves associations, but that's neither here nor there. And the third leg or major component is the international sport federations. So for example, an international sport federation would be like IAAF, the International Amateur Federation for Athletics. You have for the football, FIFA, and for volleyball and all those Olympic sports have an international body. And our local or national bodies representing them affiliated to this international federation. Okay, so these are the 3 main components. And just quickly to say that the International Olympic Committee is a non-governmental, non-profit and organization and the supreme authority of the Olympic movement. It was founded in June 23, and that's significant because you are aware every June 23
Olympic Day,
or the 23rd day of the month of June in each year, we celebrate Olympic Day with a run, some cultural activity, a walk, what have you. So since 1894, the one called His Excellency, you may call him, Baron Pierre de Coubertin, a Frenchman, revive the Olympic Games. Now remember, Olympic Games took place long before, but it was simply the Romans in Italy doing their things. And some structures still hold today that indicate the Colosseum where the running took place, and Marathon, one of the countries in Italy, named. So there in 1894, Pierre de Coubertin get together some of his friends and began this, what we say, the Olympics took a modern form. Okay? The official language is French and English, or languages, French and English. But I would say to you now, it is very much dominated by English.
English, yes.
The French is disappearing. So Thomas can't speak French. Parlez-vous français, Thomas?
Oui.
Oui, oui. That's all he says, oui. But then let's just look at the role quickly. The role of the International Olympic Committee is mission, first and foremost, is to promote Olympism throughout the world and to lead the Olympic movement.
Okay, so how would you define that Olympism?
Olympism. Well, the whole concept.
Let me just
of
read it. The question is, what is Olympism? Olympism is a philosophy of life, exalting and combining in a balanced whole the qualities of body, will, and mind, blending sports and culture, with culture and education. Olympism seeks to create a way of life based on the joy found in effort, the educational value of good example, and respect for universal, fundamental, ethical principles. The goal of the Olympic movement is to combine building a peace.
But Mr. Dossett, just before we continue, because we really have to take a short break, so we'll continue that discussion right after the break. You're watching Iron Sports. We'll be right back.
It's movies, entertainment, sports, news, travel, cuisine, and arts. Ping TV is here. With over 80 great channels to choose from to satisfy your entertainment needs no matter what. Watch all your pay-per-view programs with ease. Tier services included Fox Soccer Plus, Speed TV, and tennis. Watch quality local programming like the Channel 5 News and Ion Sports, all from the comfort of your home in full digital and HD. The thrill, the scale, and the emotion. Marpin 2K for Ping TV, bringing value home because life is better with Marpin.
She said she's being sexually abused, but is she really telling the truth? Anyways, I really don't want the hassle of dealing with the police and the courts. But my dear Susan, what if she's really abused and doesn't get the support that she needs?
As educational professionals, you have the responsibility to report all suspected cases of child sexual abuse. Reporting is easy and it's confidential. Break the silence. Child abuse is one secret you should not keep. For further information on child abuse, call 266-3020 or 266-3080.
Welcome back to Iron Sports. We're here live at Mount Daniel. We're here with the Dominica Olympic Committee, and we're getting ourselves educated on the role of the Dominica Olympic Committee. And Mr. Wilson, you were expounding earlier on.
Yes, well, I just take off from where Thomas left out. I think Thomas defined Olympism. It sounded wordy, but it tried to encompass what Olympism is all about. But by defining the role of the Olympic movement, you also capture the meaning of Olympism. The role of the IOC, International Olympic Committee, is to celebrate the Olympic Games every 4 years, quadrillion, to seek unity and to protect the independence of the Olympic movement. That is very important, that the IOC and like the DOC locally these are independent bodies, and the supreme, you may say, master of the Olympic movement is the IOC. And
okay, but just before you continue, just to sidetrack a little bit, because you mentioned the Olympic Games. Dominica first took part in 1996.
96, yes.
I believe in Atlanta. These were the games. We had about 6 athletes there, about
About
Yeah.
six athletes.
Okay, so
one swimmer and 5 track and field.
Okay, so generally, how does a country, for example, qualify to be at the Olympics? I mean, in terms of getting athletes, is there something in place where you can have a minimum amount of athletes, or is there something in place that every country must be represented?
Okay, well, the 204 or 205 countries that are affiliated to the International Olympic Committee in respect of Olympic Games. Olympic Games is the highest level of sporting excellence. So you have to qualify for whatever sport you take part in. You have to qualify, be it team sport or individual sport. However, to ensure that all countries, because not all countries can compete with team sport, for example, or even individual sport, if you have to think of the plethora of athletes in United States and who should be at the Olympics and would be much better than, say, for track and field individual than we here. But to equalize things, meetings or competitions are being held, qualifying competitions. So take, for example, we go, that is Dominica, to the Pan Am Games in Toronto this year in July. And our athletes, if they reach certain standards, times or what have you, they will qualify for the Olympic Games. So activities taking place 2 years before the Olympic Games, you can qualify to participate, reaching the Olympic standard set. But to encourage all countries that are affiliated to take part, they are given a buy sometime. Okay? That is, in individual sports like track and field, or athletics as persons would prefer to call it, or swimming, you, as a country, you may be given 2 places. 1 male, 1 female, even if you didn't qualify. For example, Dominica went to the Olympic Games in London. We only had 2 athletes. Mr. Ito Thomas, Mr. Ito qualified, that is Erison Ito qualified in 400 meters, but Luan Gabriel did not. But she, being female, gender equality, we brought along as a prospective athlete. But what we try to do as a National Olympic Committee is to ensure that our athletes meet that standard. And I should say to you, it looks bright, providing people remain healthy for Rio 2016. I am confident that at least 4 of our athletes will qualify.
Because, I mean, earlier this year you announced that 4 of them were receiving Rio scholarships to aid them in their preparations.
Yes, yes.
Let me see if I can remember the names.
And they got the scholarship because they have reached a certain standard. The international bodies would recommend them because their progress over the past few months would have shown. For example, 2 of them, Yordanis Duronano Garcia and David Regis, were gold medalists in the Pan Am Festival and also in the Central America and Caribbean Games. David got a gold and Yordanis got bronze. So all those were qualifying standards that they met to participate in the next highest level games.
But generally, when people think of the Dominica Olympic Committee, they tend to think of the Olympics, athletics, but it's a much wider range than that. The Olympic Committee generally, I wouldn't say governs the other sports, but plays a key role in the other sports like netball, football, basketball to a certain extent in assisting them. So,
well, let's differentiate between Olympic sport and non-Olympic sport. Netball is not an Olympic sport. Neither is cricket. Neither is squash. But football, volleyball, basketball, swimming. We have now fencing, taekwondo, judo, all those sports there, which some of them we don't. Boxing. These are some of the Olympic sports. And yes, the governing body for those Olympic sports to go to the Olympic Games is the National Olympic Committee, Dominic. But I was saying, let me just quickly define the role and leave it to Thomas to link the role of the IOC to what we actually are about. It's not just about going to the Olympic Games. The other thing is to protect the independence of the game, develop the competitive sport, as we try to do, by our athletes getting scholarships, etc. Sports for all, that is, go beyond the affiliates or the Olympic sport, but try and expose the entire country to sports. Develop a sports culture. Support for women in women's involvement in sports. Protect athletes, because you know athletes can be exploited.
Yes.
Lead in the fight against doping, which we are actively doing. We now have a national anti-doping organization, which is linked to the Dominica Olympic Committee. And there must be emphasis also on the promotion of fair play, peace. If you know, historically, the Olympic Games were held. When they were held, all battles had to cease. Where we had Olympic Games, but Iraq still had war. Yeah?
That's the power of sports.
Yes, that was the power of sports then, and we hope to continue that. Non-discriminatory, okay? Read race or creed. Sustainable development is because we can, and at some stage we'll talk about athlete development programs that the Dominica Olympic Committee is mandated to do. Culture and education, and the IOC leaves a positive legacy in the countries, the cities where the games are held, and the countries. A positive legacy is left behind. So that embodies the role of the International Olympic Committee, and as local representative, the Dominica Olympic Committee, we have to do the same.
Okay, so Mr. Dossett, how does that translate down here locally? The role of the National Olympic Committee now?
Well, the DOC, Dominica Olympic Committee, is an organization belonging to the Olympic movement. And Olympism defines what is the Olympic movement, essentially. And the role of the Dominica Olympic Committee is to ensure that the good governance, ethical values are observed through the movement. And that is, they should govern or curtail, not to curtail as such, but to address the concerns of the National Association. Now, our preamble under our Constitution, which was just approved last year by the IOC, says that the Dominica Olympic Committee, an organization belonging to the Olympic movement.
Speed up.
So actually we are belonging to the Olympic movement, and we have to observe the ethical values of the Olympic movement and ensure that our affiliates practice the same. And they should also have, our Constitution is in tune with the Olympic Charter. Similarly, the National Federation, their Constitution should be in tune with ours and the Olympic Charter and their international association. And that is what we're trying to do at the moment, to encompass all that. So what we are doing right now, in spite of we here, we're trying to structure or restructure the National Federation.
Okay. All right. So when we come back, we'll have a lot more with the guests, the members of the Dominica Olympic Committee, watching a special eye on sports. We'll be right back after the word from our sponsors.
It's movies, entertainment, sports, news, travel, cuisine, and arts. Pink TV is here. With over 80 great channels to choose from to satisfy your entertainment needs no matter what. Watch all your pay-per-view programs with ease. Tier services included Fox Soccer Plus, Speed TV, and tennis. Watch quality local programming like the Channel 5 News and Ion Sports, all from the comfort of your home in full digital and HD. The thrill, the scale, and the emotion. Marpin 2K for Pink TV, bringing value home because life is better with Marpin.
Strong preparation. Strong concentration. Strong teamwork. Strong nerve. Strong performance. Strong oil. Volkswagen recommends Castrol Edge, our strongest oil. Castrol, it's more than just oil, it's liquid engineering.
Of course, welcome back to Iron Sports, and You know, if you've been watching the program over the past few years, you know that this is the quickest half an hour on television, and unfortunately time is almost up. So gentlemen, before we say goodbye, just to quickly wrap up, because you guys are going to be back again every second Thursday of the month to discuss the whole Olympic movement and how it can help towards the development of sports and the whole Olympic movement in Dominica. Mr. Wilson, we'll start with you.
Okay. Let me just say that the Dominica Olympic Committee is on that education drive, because the Dominican populace need to understand what is this whole thing. It is not just based, as you said earlier, on competition and top athletes, of which we have very few. There are several things that have to be put in place. For example, even the IOC itself, the IOC is made up of at least 30 commissions. Okay, apart from the body, the executive body and the IOC membership, which is around 115, they are subdivided and bring in experts to have several commissions to address issues and to make recommendations to the IOC. So the management structure is important, and similarly, we may not reach that level of expertise in Dominica, but what we are striving to do is to develop sports, not only the athletes' development, but also our national associations, as Thomas mentioned, get them better structured. But there are so few persons involved in sports management, and hence we are challenged. But we will continue to work with the national associations to develop something comprehensive and more wholesome, and particularly educate the youth to one day be part of the movement, not just competing, but also administering.
And Mr. Dawson?
Well, our educational drive is not anything new, because the National Association should know that they should be affiliated to the international, and the international tells them how they should be governed. So that is easy to understand. But what we see happening is that our National Association, the secretariat, the management is lacking. We try to help as much as possible, but we cannot do all. But hopefully we run some management courses, and we'll try to do that again this year.
Okay, and very quickly, before we say goodbye, because we have just about a minute left, you mentioned the Summer Olympics as the flagship of the Olympic movement. Recently, we've seen the addition of Winter Olympics, and Dominica also made its first appearance last year. That's something that we're going to look to try to build on in the future?
Yes, we like to build on every aspect of the activities that Dominica Olympic Committee takes part in. What we are hoping, which has been happening, is that a lot of the diaspora of Dominica is the one that is supporting our activities in the Olympic movement. So even if it is winter sports, if there are Dominicans living in Canada, in the United States, in Europe, who have Dominicans with the Dominican passport, etc., then we can be encouraged, like David Regis, Erisi Ito, and several others, encourage them to be part of our teams.
Okay, gentlemen, so I'd like to thank you for being on board this program. Of course, you guys will be back again, second Thursday in every month. You back at home, I'd like to thank you for watching. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Gavin Richards signing off. You've been watching Iron Sports. Goodbye.